Bellingham and Mbappe together. He did with that makeshift defense, who even he said like they'd never even trained together, all of them. So Valverde right back and Mendy left back, Asensio and Tchouaméni in the center. And they started really well. And then after 15 minutes, I thought, okay, yeah, we will have a good game. I felt the rest was really disappointing. And I know in the end it's a 3-2 win. I know there's a lot of goals. They had chances. I just thought the level of both teams, especially Manchester City, was really average.
Okay, I chalked that up. We saw the mistakes, right?
Yeah,
we saw the mistakes, the individual errors that happened in the game, and these are phenomenal players. We're not accustomed to seeing that.
Not used to, for sure.
I chalked it up a little bit to the occasion that these guys are still humans, and I'm not a big intangibles guy, a big sort of confidence guy, but when you've had a lot of strife, and Manchester City certainly have had a ton of strife, I think even stars develop that little bit of insecurity, that little bit of conservatism, which can lead you to make a mistake, because sometimes a tentative option, sometimes when you think about something too much at that level with that quality on the pitch, it's not the right decision. And I think the same thing can be said for Real Madrid, because they went out, they pressed the life out of them for the first 15 minutes and they look great, but it was obvious that they're not going to do that the whole game, right? Even though frankly they physically could, just mentally they can't. So I sort of chalked it up to that a little bit. But when I think back and I look at the number of chances, I think Real Madrid should have scored a lot more. Yeah. And even kind of that late comeback, this was not like the late comeback before with the 2 Rodrigo goals. This was
definitely. Yeah, I think they were unlucky to be 2-1 down. I mean, I don't know what Dani Ceballos is trying to do on Phil Foden. It's definitely a penalty. There's not even a debate.
I think he was trying to foul him outside the box, frankly.
Yeah, but even don't do that at all, So I think they were unlucky to be 2-1 down. And whether they stay calm, whether they knew that they had this in them to do those comebacks, I don't really believe in that anyway. This kind of Real Madrid.
The miedo escénico?
Yeah, we always come back. And I don't really believe that. I believe that they were the better team, even if they were themselves not that great, but they were still the better team. And they were always going to have a chance to score because Manchester City threw a game away. They've thrown games away all season long. They can't manage a score. They can't manage a game. They can't see out a game. Where is their football IQ? I don't know. It's disappeared. It's gone to the bin. It's gone there's the river in Manchester, in the sea. I don't know where it's gone.
I believe it's the Moss River.
The canal. Where is the intelligence? I don't understand how they can make a mistake like the second goal they give away, the third goal they give away. It's beyond me how this team is just disintegrating in front of our eyes, just like this. And Pep Guardiola, I don't even know where the real Pep Guardiola is. This is not him.
Wow, you're that harsh on him.
He said, I'm not good enough. And we know you're not good enough anymore. But really, surely there's a point where you can't keep doing nothing and just being a victim and not being active in your games. This was ridiculous.
I would push back on the fact that he did nothing. I think he made some choices that I thought were a little bit unusual. Like, for example, leaving De Bruyne out there. I would have thought that, when he made the change, moving Stones sort of deeper again, I thought that was an odd change, but I thought he's trying to do things a little bit differently. So I think he is trying slightly different things, but they're clearly not working yet. Jules, the optics of this, right? 3-2, comeback win. If you were looking at this through, say, Pep-tinted glasses, you could say, all right, individual errors you can't legislate for. And this is not an analysis I agree with, right? Just to be very clear. Individual errors you cannot legislate for. We were in a bad period. We're playing the defending champions, and we concede a goal in injury time due to an individual error. Not great. But for most of the game, when we had the ball, for that period sort of in the middle of the game, when Real Madrid ran out of steam, we were in charge, and it just cost us at the end because we made individual mistakes. Now, this is not an analysis I agree with. But there are some people who will say that. There are some people who will say that and won't criticize Pep's choices in this game.
But it's not true. Maybe when they were 1-0 up, but they were under pressure. Mbappe should have scored 2 goals. Bellingham should have scored a goal. Vinicius hit the crossbar.
Or 2 individual errors and the wonky Mbappe goal, which,
Yeah, true. No, but the expected goals before the Haaland penalty is 0.65.
Yeah, they could have had 3 goals before the Haaland penalty in the start of the second half.
Yeah, and so City were not creating enough with the ball. There was a point where they looked like even on the ball they were not really sure what to do and where the danger would come. It needs an amazing, I think, piece of play from Gvardiol for them to score that first goal, because he's at the start of it, the way he recovers the ball. Yeah, then it's a great Grealish pass, and then he chests it down to Haaland for his finish. But without Gvardiol playing at that kind of level, they don't even create that first chance and they don't even score that goal. And by then they could have been 2-0 down. Maybe I'm a little bit too down on City. I don't know. It's just that we've been waiting every week. Okay, they're going to get better. Let's see. The fact is, Gabby, that every time they play a decent team, they collapse. They don't win. We're going to say it again. In the Champions League so far, who have they beaten? Slovan Bratislava, Dinamo Zagreb and Club Brugge. And that's it. That is it. In the league, who have they beaten now of the top teams? Okay, early on, they beat Chelsea when our friend Robert Sanchez, but they don't. They struggle against Arsenal. They're struggling against Liverpool. They're struggling against Newcastle. They are not that team anymore.
So the question is, so they're a team in transition. This is where I struggle though when people say, well, it's a team in transition.